Hello and welcome to our training today on SNAP assistance for Alabama. I want to take a minute and kind of introduce who we are and kind of why we do this work. So let's start off with understanding Feeding the Gulf Coast is a food bank, a Feeding America partner. We're one of 200 plus food banks throughout the country. Every county in the United States is served by a food bank. We provide food to food pantries, soup kitchens, and other agencies throughout the counties on the coast of Alabama, Mississippi, and the panhandle of Florida. So our team is the benefits assistance team. We provide client-facing services to people all throughout the state of Alabama and Mississippi in partnership with the other food banks throughout those states. Our primary focus is SNAP assistance. We also assist seniors with benefits like senior farmers market vouchers, Medicare savings program, extra help, and other benefits that we have that are seasonal or temporary. Our team consists of myself. I am Evie McClarty, Benefits Outreach Assistant Manager, our manager, Beth Finch. We have specialists that are in Gulfport and Mobile. And we have on-the-ground coordinators in Birmingham, Mobile, Gulfport, Jackson, Mississippi, and in North Mississippi as well. So today what we will cover is what is SNAP, how does it work, how to complete the SNAP application, how to complete the applications for seniors, reviewing the applications to make sure that they're accurate and complete, submitting the application, and then what happens after that. So what is SNAP? SNAP is the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, formerly known as food stamps. This program provides a EBT card, which is similar to a credit card that clients can use at the grocery store for regular food. They cannot use it for things that are household items, anything for pets or non-food. So our application for the state of Alabama is pretty easy. There are some states that are very long. Ours is not, and so we're very fortunate in that. So whenever you received this, you probably also received a PDF copy of the applications. Those can be typed in or they can be written in, whichever is more convenient for you. But if you will look at that application, you'll be able to see it a little bit better than what's on the screen here. So you'll start out with the contact information at the top, the name, birthday, social security number, mailing, and street address if it's different, city, county, state, zip, phone number, and then there's the signature line. The signature line is very important. We can pretty much submit an application with very little information, but if that signature line is not there, then we cannot submit it. So on these, I suggest having, a good phone number, a good working phone number. If they need to put a second number, they can put a second number on there as well. The more contact information, the better. So then it goes down into the next area, which is about expedited services. So if there are certain issues with the household as far as limited income, meaning maybe they have a job loss, maybe they're experiencing homelessness, something like that, then they can get expedited services, meaning that it will be within 7 calendar days. So we're going to jump down to the questions 1 through 4. How much money do the members of your household have in cash or in a bank account? Let's please remember that this is outside of their normal income. So if you list income on here and then you list this information as well, they're going to take that as 2 separate things. So this is more of a savings or something that they have outside of their normal income. Usually we say leave it blank or put 0 because between the time that they do the interview and they have this application, that information is probably going to be different. Number 2, what is the total amount of income you expect your household to receive this month? That is earned and earned income as well. Number 3, what is your current monthly rent or mortgage payment? And utilities other than phone. Is anyone in the household migrant, seasonal farm worker? Does anyone expect to receive income from a new source this month? If so, how much? Okay, so the next ones are not numbered. These are optional. There are some of them that are a little bit more sensitive to ask than others. If you do not feel comfortable, feel free to skip it. But it starts out with just information about if you're going to receive food assistance benefits in another county or in Alabama or from another state. That one's pretty easy. That just helps us know if they're already receiving benefits and if they're trying to transfer a case. Did anyone in your household receive food assistance last month? Have you or anyone in your household been convicted by state or federal court of making fraudulent statement about your identity or residency in order to receive food assistance in more than one state at a time? Basically, did you commit SNAP fraud? Next one is, have you been convicted of a felony? And then the other ones are buying or selling SNAP assistance, and then gambling winnings. So again, those are optional questions. We usually will skip over some of them. All right, so the back side of that application includes the other household members. So box number 1 you'll see is same household. These are people who eat with the head of household. This could be a spouse, this could be children, anyone who's purchasing food together. The second box is the separate household. So that would be like a roommate, someone who pays room and board. Maybe if you have a grandparent living with the family, they have different dietary needs. They do not eat with the family, so they would be listed separately. So in the top, you have name, social security number, date of birth, relationship, if they're working or in school, their sexual identity, ethnicity, race, and if they're a U.S. citizen. As much information as possible is helpful. We do realize that a lot of times people do not have their social security number for all their children or their date of birth for other people in the household. So that's perfectly fine if they don't have it at that time. And then the box for separate household, all they ask for is name, age, and relationship to you, and if they provide any money or pay any of the bills. And then authorized representative. An authorized representative is someone who can make any changes to the account. They can have a separate card. They can spend the SNAP benefits. So be cautious here to make sure that it is a trusted resource and someone who needs to be on the account. And then they have voter registration if you would like to register, if you need to change anything on the voter registration, or if just know if you don't want to do anything at this time. All right, so the next page has the USDA non-discrimination statement, also the penalty warnings, perjury statement, and another signature. So basically you're signing off on this page that you've read this. So that's the regular application. That's for anyone under 60 or anyone working. So in Alabama, they have a specific senior application, which helps, seniors take a little bit more information on medical expenses and things like that. So if someone is over 60, not working, so their only income is unearned, you would use this application. So same thing, starts out with contact information, name, date of birth, social security, mailing address, city, county, state, zip, and phone number. And it says on there, we must be able to reach you at this number Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. Same thing with expedited services. How much do you or the members of your household have in cash or bank account? What's the total amount of income you expect to receive? Your mortgage, rent, and utilities other than phone. And then have you received food assistance or do you expect to from anywhere this month? Then it asks about the authorized representative. Same thing here. Do you want to give someone the permission to apply for or get food assistant benefits for you? And then it has that box number 1. Same thing. Everyone in your household. This must be you, your spouse, anyone living with you that you eat together. And then box number 2 is the everyone in your household that does not purchase food together, or that you do not prepare meals with. All right, page 2 is the food assistance household continued. Are you or anyone in your household fleeing felon? These are those optional questions. Have you or anyone had been convicted of a felony, received lottery or gambling winnings? And then number 6 is talking about income. So this is where you would label out the type of income, being it either SSI, retirement, whichever benefit it is, and the gross amount received. And then it asks if anyone's working in the household. Number 8, shelter expenses. So this breaks it down a little bit more for mortgage or rent payment, lot rent, property taxes, homeowners insurance. And so number 9 does the same thing for utilities, electricity, gas, water, garbage, and phone. And then it goes on to ask how you heat your home, and if you have air conditioning, if you've ever used the LIHEAP or the Heat and Energy Assistance Program. And then the medical expenses. So does anyone have out-of-pocket medical expenses? This may seem something that's, easy to skip over, but it really is something that makes a difference on the end result of the amount of benefits that a senior may receive. So make sure to include anything you can here. Prescriptions, doctor visits, hospital bills, health insurance. If they're paying on anything, even if it's a few dollars a month, it needs to go here. It's really important that we, try to advocate for them to take as much of the medical expenses as we can. Number 13, does anyone in your household pay legally obligated child support? And then number 14, of all things, is the signature. And so make sure that signature is there, or we cannot accept the application and they won't process it. All right, checking your work. So when you've completed the application, which is not very long, you want to make sure that it's legible. If you have a hard time with making sure the numbers look right or whatever, feel free to type it. If you need to make some corrections on it, feel free to, mark it out and put something next to it, but try to make it as clean as possible. Make sure it has a date of birth. If it doesn't have a date of birth, Alabama, because there's those 2 applications, get a little uneasy because they don't know which way to process it. And make sure there's a mailing address, a phone number, social security number. Those basic information pieces really let them put the case into the computer and go ahead and get that case rolling, and basically keeps them from being late or having any kind of errors. Is it signed and dated in all the correct places? And do they have any documentation? If they would like to submit their ID, that's perfectly fine. You can get a copy of it and send it in with the application. They can also text it to us. We can provide you with that information as well. It just has to be pretty timely so that we can make sure that everything is turned in at the same time. All right, so you've done applications, you've checked everything, you're ready to turn them in. We have a paper outreach event form that looks like this. We also have an online form for if you would prefer to submit it online. That's probably the fastest and easiest way, but it's all the same information. So it'll add your name and the date, and then your type of event, which would be a volunteer, intern, or trained partner outreach. The location that outreach was done at, the county and the city it was in, and then what the outreach hours were if you're a volunteer and we're counting hours. And then you'll fill in how many SNAP applications were done. If you're trained on other applications such as Medicare, extra help or MSP or anything, that information will go in here as well. And then at the bottom, you'll see an additional line for comments. If there's anything specific about a client that didn't get to go on the application, you would put it here. And the email address and the fax number as well. We really prefer to have these things emailed instead of faxed because fax is not always reliable and it's not always clean. Sometimes the applications come out really messy, so we want to make sure we get them as clean as possible. All right, so once we receive the application, we submit it to DHR. DHR will call the client for an interview and they'll verify info. Depending on how much was submitted, that process could be a little faster or a little slower. If and when they're approved, they'll receive an EBT card by snail mail. We do have some great connections with DHR since we have a state contract with them. And so our applications don't go to the general place that applications would usually go. It has a portal that it goes into, and they are processed separately. So it does make it a little bit faster. All right. So just for reference, we have other services that we provide as well. We can help clients find food pantries, food distributions. We can help with, in the past, we've done Disaster SNAP for seniors, like I said, the MSP, LIS, Senior Farmers Market vouchers. So if you're interested in any of those, please don't hesitate to ask. So what happens next? If you have not already received the PDFs, you'll receive copies of the applications that way. We'll also ask if you prefer to have some paper applications. And then we have some materials as well that we can provide you with in case, people are wanting to just take something with them. And we'll add you to our resources of our volunteer newsletter and give you any kind of information on upcoming opportunities. So generally, this would be where questions would take place. And so if you have any, please feel free to either respond to the email you received or reach out to me directly. And we will do the best we can to answer your questions. We always have someone available on our hotline at 877-855-2550 that can answer just about any questions that I can. So feel free to give them a call as well. Have a great day. Thank you.